Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are going to be making a St. Patrick's Day wreath. I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to doing this one. I've been collecting green and yellow mesh and ribbon and tulle and little decorative items. Now some of it came from Dollar Tree, some of it came from Michael's, and some of it actually came from Walmart. So it's a combination of stuff. So I wanted to show you everything that I have available to use for this. Right on top, I have this right here. Now I found these at Dollar Tree. I bought 2 packs of these little dragonflies. Aren't they cute? They're kind of I got them mainly for the color because they have that really pretty iridescent green. And on the back, you're going to see that they have little wires back here. So you can actually use these little wires to attach it to the wreath frame if you want to. I may just go ahead and cut the wires off and just hot glue them to the wreath. I don't know. Just wait and see. But each pack of these has 2 dragonflies in it, and I did buy 2 packs of these. So we could put 4 cute little dragonflies on there. They are really something. So there's that. And then in front of me now I have all of the mesh and the tulle and the ribbon, and there's a lot. I'm about to show you the biggest roll of mesh that I've ever seen in my life. That's right here. Look at this massive, it's huge. It's like a bale of hay. I've never seen a roll of mesh that big. All right. Now this is from Celebrate It, and I believe I got this at Michael's. Michael's has a phenomenal amount of decorative mesh in different colors. Although I did notice when I went to get it, they were out of a bunch of different colors. I don't know if there was something going on and there was a run on certain colors. I don't know. But I was able to get a dark green mesh here and a light green. So we can have some definition and we can have some shading in the wreath. It won't just all be a solid dark green. We can have light green as well. And we can have all we want, honestly. This is 45 feet. It's 5.5 inch mesh, so it's a half inch. It's a half inch more narrow than what we get from Dollar Tree, but there is a lot on this thing. 45 feet a piece. I mean, that is unbelievable. That's a lot. Okay, and then so that's the mesh. Those are the only 2 colors of mesh that I'm going to use as the dark green and the light green. And then you get into the tulle, and I still have left over from the spring and the Easter wreaths. I have a bunch of this really beautiful bright yellow matte tulle. I stuck some tape on it to try to hold it, you know, to keep it from unraveling because it kept unspooling itself. There's still a lot on here, and I think this will add a really pretty pop of yellow to the wreath. So it's really going to stand out. So I don't know how much is left on here. There's a lot left on here. I ended up not using a lot on the Easter and the spring wreaths. So I think I was kind of afraid I would use it up, although there's really no concern because there's a lot on here. So I have that yellow tulle, and I also have, this is a light green matte tulle. It doesn't have any of the glitter in it. So it's just a matte finish. It's not sparkly at all. It's just a really pretty light green color. And this is the light green mesh. So it's really similar, but you'll see that the mesh has this really pretty metallic stripe running through it. That is really going to shine when we put it on this wreath. And the dark green mesh has that metallic shine to it as well. That's going to look really good. For this wreath, I am so partial to the Sunburst Technique to make the wreaths. I know there are tons of different ways you can make wreaths with mesh. The Sunburst Technique is just my favorite. That's the one I used for the Easter wreath and the spring wreath recently. It's just my favorite one. I don't know, I just think it looks really pretty. And then I get into the ribbon for the wreath. And again, we're sticking with just green and yellow. I found this really pretty light green ribbon here. I think it is 1.5 inches. We have 10 yards on here, so that's going to go a long way. I will use up all of it on the wreath though. I will use up this entire spool on that wreath more than likely. If I have enough left over, I may do 2 mini wreaths as well. We'll just wait and see how it goes, but I should have enough to do 2 little ones too. So we have the 1.5 inch ribbon there from Celebrate It, which came from Michael's also. It's really pretty. It's kind of a translucent ribbon. Has a little bit of a shine to it. It's not bad. And I wanted to get, that was one thing they were out of. They didn't have any dark green wide ribbon. But I got to looking and I thought, well, let's do something a little bit different then. And I got this. I got this big roll of wired burlap ribbon. Now this is a really pretty dark green, and it is also from Celebrate It. Celebrate It. This is 21 feet, and I know I'm not going to use it all. But if we're still doing wreaths at Christmas time, any of this that's left over could easily be used in a Christmas wreath. Or maybe even a Thanksgiving wreath, but probably save it for Christmas. I've never worked with burlap ribbon this wide before, so that's going to be interesting to see how that looks. And it's really, really wide too. It's 4 inch. It's 4-inch ribbon, so I just got a little crazy and decided I'd try something different. And then also from Celebrate It, we have this sparkly tool. This is a glitter tool in a light green. It is completely encrusted in glitter. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have green glitter everywhere when I'm done. I have a new vacuum cleaner so I can test it out to see how well it picks up glitter. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Now this is 6-inch tool, and we have 10 yards, and I probably won't use all this, especially since we already have the yellow and the light green matte tool, but we'll certainly add some to the wreath, make it sparkle a little bit. And while I was looking through, I actually had to take 2 totes and dedicate them to all of my wreath making stuff because it's starting to pile up in the attic. So I got 2 totes, and now I have all of my wreath stuff in the 2 totes. And while I was looking through the totes the other day, I found this. I found some. Now this is burlap ribbon here, but it's the 2-inch burlap ribbon and some yellow. These pieces of thin yellow ribbon were left over from the Easter and the spring wreaths. And in the tote, I also found some gold ribbon that apparently I had cut at some point for another wreath and didn't use. See, it's already dovetailed. All of this is already dovetailed. See, it's already cut like that, so it's all ready to go, which is great. I had cut these in the past for different wreaths and didn't use it, so I stuck it in the tote, and now I'm going to use it for this one. And I have a gracious abundance of skinny ribbon, and I doubt I'm going to use all of it. This is some that I had just pulled out of the tote. Some of this was already in the tote, so I just pulled it out so I would have it available to me if I decided to use it. Like this one here was in the tote. It's a shiny green ribbon. I may go with that. It's 36 feet. Looks like I got it at Goodwill for $1.29. And I have this ribbon here. I don't know. I think this came from Michael's. It's just a dark green. These are all 5/8 inch ribbons. This one is it's not a bright yellow, it's kind of a dandelion color, or a, what do you call it, goldenrod maybe? Sort of a gold color. This is from Dollar Tree. We have 5 yards of that on here. And if you compare that to this ribbon, now this ribbon is this right here. It's a sheer ribbon. It's kind of a pain to dovetail. When you go to cut it to dovetail it, it slips out of the scissors. But I think it looks really pretty in the wreaths. But I found another roll of that. So if you compare the colors, you can see this one's a little bit more of a bright yellow. So there's that. And I also found this is the same type of ribbon. This is also the sheer ribbon, but it's a dark green. And we have 18 feet of that if we want to use that. And this one is almost like a mix of green and yellow. And it has a little bit of a shine to it. This came from Good Dollar Tree as well. We only have 9 feet of this. I'll probably use that one. And this is the same. These are just satin ribbons. This one is gold colored, which I probably will use up both of these on the wreath. I really love this sparkly goldish green color, and I like the gold, just the plain gold as well. So we'll probably use up both of these on that. And then I found this at Walmart, Offray, Offray. This is a 1.5 inch dark green ribbon. It was the best I could find. I don't know where all the dark green ribbon is in Greensboro, but I couldn't find any. Like if I wanted to just get some 2-inch ribbon when I was shopping for it, I couldn't find it. I haven't looked in the last week or so, but I just finally decided to get this one, even though it's not quite as wide as what I wanted. It'll work. It'll work just fine. And then I had one more ribbon. I love this ribbon. Oh my gosh. Look at how bright yellow that is. This is also from Celebrate It. This is a mega roll of ribbon. It is 2.5 inches wide, and it is sheer. So it's like you took this and you put it on steroids and you ended up with this. I mean, it's like this is the granddaddy here and here's the little baby. Same kind of ribbon. Now on this roll we have 10 yards. So that should be more than enough. If we wanted to use a bunch of it in there, we certainly could. And this is wired ribbon. Now it looks really bright yellow when you look at it like this, but if you kind of separate it away a little bit, you can see, well, you can't really see it, but it's very sheer. So it's not going to look this bright on the wreath. It's not going to be this vibrant, but it's still going to look really good, I think. Now, I got to thinking about the pipe cleaners, and I have a whole stash of chenille stems up in the attic in my totes full of my wreath supplies. But I wanted to stick with green and yellow chenille stems, even though they don't show when you're displaying the wreath. I still wanted to keep them just green and yellow. To mix them up, it just kind of bugs me. I don't want to just have a random chenille stem. You know, I want them to all kind of match. So I didn't have any in the attic that were green or yellow. I had a ton of other colors, but no green or yellow. So I went to Walmart and I tried to find some chenille stems, just a pack. I thought if I could just get 1 pack of green and 1 pack of yellow, that'll do it. They were totally out of green. They were totally out of yellow. So I said, fine. What I ended up getting was this. They had this. I love the colors in this pack. This is one of the 100 packs of chenille stems. Look at these beautiful dark colors. Oh my gosh. You have this dark green and brown. It's really pretty red. And back here you have a lighter brown, and this is actually kind of a cream color in here. So I thought for this wreath, oh, there's more, but I thought I could use these dark green ones in here, and then of course, you know, save the other ones for another day. So out of that one we get the dark green. And then I bought a pack of these because this is a pack of the pastel fuzzy sticks right here. Now you have pink, you have light pink, darker pink, purple, but what I was going for, I want a really pretty blue. I was going for this light green right here. So for this wreath, we're going to have the dark green here and the light green there. So I can use some of both, or I may have enough to just use all one color. I don't know yet. I'm going to wait and see how this goes because this mesh, unlike the Dollar Tree mesh, is going to be thicker. If you get mesh in other places, it's going to be a thicker consistency than the mesh at Dollar Tree. So when you make your bundles, you may not be able to use as much mesh in your bundle, or if you do, your bundle is going to be thicker. So you may end up with a different number of bundles. Plus, if I do the little wreaths also, I'm going to need extra chenille stems for that. So we'll see how it goes. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because once you put up the wreath, you can't see the chenille stems on the back side anyway. They only really show on the back side of the wreath. But I still want them to look nice. And for the center piece of the big wreath, I have a Tinsel Shamrock. This is so neat. This came from Dollar Tree. If you saw that walkthrough I did with the voiceover, I bought the hanging that had the 3 shamrocks. And so I took one off of the wall hanging, and I'm going to attach this to the center of the wreath in the middle of the big wreath, and I think that's going to look nice. So sparkly. Oh, and I have some more stuff that was under there. Now here we have some more of the decorations. We already saw the dragonflies. We also have some foam scatter. This is from Dollar Tree. And we have some more shamrocks and gold coins. And we can take these and just hot glue these into the wreath here and there. Oh, this wreath is going to be so great. And they will also work if I do 2 small ones. They're not gigantic, so they're not going to look oversized or anything. But I thought these would look really nice if you just hot glue them onto the wreath once you get it all finished. And I found a little yellow bird. They only had one in yellow, but I thought it would look really cute to put a little bird in the wreath. Just one. So that's all I have. He has a little marijuana clip on his underside, you can see, which is really convenient because that means you don't have to hot glue him to the thing. You just clip him wherever you want him and he stays there. So we have a nice little, it looks like a goldfinch kind of, which we have a lot of goldfinches here, and in the wintertime they're not as vibrant, but they're still here. And they have emptied out my bird feeders. I gotta go fill them up when I get done with this, but okay. So here's the wreath frame that we're going to be working with. This is what I use for everything. And the smaller wreath frames they would fit in here. They're that little. And I don't have any of those in here right now, but this is a 14-inch wreath form from Dollar Tree. And we're just going to be attaching the bundles to these 2 wires right here, right in the middle. And none of this is going to show once it's done. Now, using the Sunburst Technique, the sides are going to come out about this far away from the wreath. So it's going to be a lot bigger when we get done. It's going to be bigger than it looks right now. And to decorate it, of course, we have the dragonflies and the bird. But I also thought it would be pretty to add some bright yellow flowers to it. I found these at Michael's. They had just started putting out their springtime artificial flowers. This was a couple of weeks ago. And I grabbed these because I love that bright yellow. It's such a nice, pretty yellow. And these are too. These are a little bit more pastel. But they are going to look so good sticking out of there. I have 2 bundles of these. And then yesterday, when I went to Ollie's to do the plastic video of the carpets. When I was leaving, I happened to notice they had a bunch of artificial flowers up front. And I bought this giant bouquet. Look at these. The ones that caught my eye were these greenish looking flowers. I thought maybe we could put a few of these green flowers in there. Maybe some of these yellow ones. Yeah, and then of course I can just save these other ones like these really pretty roses here. I could just save those for something else. Now that I have my totes up in the attic, I have somewhere to easily store this stuff. So I can, you know, I don't have just tons of bags of wreath stuff up in my attic anymore. These were only $4. I got this whole bundle for $3.99, which I thought was a great deal. So yeah, check them out. They look pretty good. Okay, so that is the last thing I had to show you. Now, the first thing we're going to do is start, we're going to have to cut up the mesh and the tulle and the ribbon. That's the thing about this process that takes the most time, is cutting them, dovetailing the ribbon, all that kind of stuff. We're going to get some mesh cut up, and then the ribbon and the tulle, and we will start making bundles. So let's get started. We have everything ready. I got my nice surface here, and I have cut a bunch of the ribbon in all different colors. This is a little piece of the gold ribbon. Now, when we do the Sunburst Technique, I don't measure it exactly, but you want each piece to be about 9 inches long, and that applies to the ribbon and the tulle and the mesh. So it's all going to be about 9 inches long, and you can measure it exactly if you want to. And so then I took some of the light green and the dark green little pipe cleaners here, and you see I've cut them in half. They were originally that long, so they're just cut in half, and I just have some of those. And for each big wreath, the 14-inch wreath, you're going to need about 50 bundles, 50. And I'm going to show you how I do them. Now you can modify this and do it any way you want to. There is no wrong way to do this. Just whatever makes you happy, that's how you should definitely do it. So I have my pipe cleaners here. They're so soft. I have a huge bundle of them. Over there you can't see it, but it feels good to just squish on it. It's very, very soft. Okay, I'm going to start with the mesh. So I have cut up a bunch of mesh. Here's a piece of the dark green here. Now it's going to roll up because it's been on that roll for so long. It's never going to just lie flat, but it doesn't have to lie flat. It doesn't really matter. So when you're doing the Sunburst Technique, here's how you do it. I just start with the mesh. You can start with tulle or whatever, it doesn't matter. This is how I do it. Take a piece of mesh like this. Now don't handle it a lot, because the more you handle it, the more it's going to fray. Grab opposite corners and pull it just a little bit. You're going to hold it down in the middle, and then you just kind of fold it up on itself and pinch it, and it makes like a little bow tie. Now you see how long it is. It's going to be, you know, pretty big when you get it ready for the bundle. You want to make sure you hold it this way, because if you let it go, well, it springs back the way it was. So you don't want to let it go. You grab the opposite ends, pull them just a little. You don't have to pull them hard, just a little bit. Press it down in the middle, and then just kind of fold it up, pinch it. And then what I do is I put it between my index finger and my middle finger, like this. I'm right-handed, so for me, I just use my left hand, and I just hold it like that. And then I'm going to grab a piece of this light green mesh, and then we're going to do the same thing with it. Oh, it's longer than 9 inches, but it doesn't matter. Grab the opposite ends. Now see, I'm still holding this. You can also use a clothespin or a chip clip or whatever you want. If you don't want to do it this way, you don't have to. You can use something else to hold it. Just make sure you have something to hold it together. And the more you do this, you get better at it. It gets easier. Grab the opposite ends, pull it a little bit. You're going to fold it down and roll it together, pinch it. And I'm going to put them together now. I have 2 of these together. Now we're only using 2 colors of mesh in this wreath. This mesh is a lot stiffer than the Dollar Tree mesh. There's a big difference in it. It's not bad, I just noticed. So I'm going to grab some of the, let's look at the tulle here. Let me peel off a piece of that. Now here's some of the yellow tulle. You can't really tell because it's on a black surface, but you don't have to pull it or anything. I'm just going to take opposing corners and just kind of roll it up on itself. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then pinch it. So I've got everything together. And let's get a piece of that glitter tulle. One piece of that. Now, when you use this glitter tulle, you will get glitter absolutely everywhere. And there's nothing you can do about it, really. I'm just kind of rolling it together. Pinch it in the middle. Put it together. All right. Now let's grab some ribbon. I'm going to try this. I've never used ribbon this wide before. This is that burlap ribbon. Now I'm still holding it in the middle. I'm going to put that there. And I'm just layering ribbon. Now you can use as much or as little ribbon as you want to. I did the big piece and then this 1.5 inch piece and then a 5/8 inch piece. This is going to constitute one bundle. Now here's the tricky part. You hold it together. I'm just pinching it like that. Take one of your pipe cleaners that's been cut in half. You're going to lay it over the top. You're going to bring it around, fold it in half, grab it. It's all right, you're not going to hurt it. Squeeze it together, and then you just tie it like a twist tie. At least 3 turns on the bottom, and then you can let it go. Now that is one bundle. You're going to need about 50 of these for each 14-inch wreath frame. But let me show you what I decided to do. I'm going to move this for a second. I had to go to Dollar Tree, and I found these. I wasn't planning on using these, but I thought I would try something a little different. With the 2 smaller wreaths, instead of using the little wire frames that you can get there, I decided to try this. Now this is a bamboo wreath. It's just wound up bamboo with twine wrapped around it. So what I'm going to try to do, let me cut that off. And I have never worked with one of these before, so I don't know how this is going to go. But I don't mind trying something different. What I'm going to do, instead of using the little wire frames, I'm going to attach my bundles to this thing. This cool little bamboo frame. So say I had, and the bundles are going to be the same size. Let me see. Now when I do this, I may not be able to cut the pipe cleaners in half. I'm actually going to just try this. Nope, that's not going to work. See, it's not big enough. Well, that's all right. It's a learning process. But these will work on the 14-inch wire frames. I'll show you. I left bamboo crumbs. Here's the 14-inch wire frame. Now it will work with this. Okay. Now we're not going to put anything on this wire or the outside wire. We take these 2 pieces sticking down here. I want to turn it upside down so you can see. You pull it under here like this, and you take these 2 ends and you twist them together just like that. And now this bundle is attached to the wire frame. Now it's going to be floppy, it's going to move around, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. After you add a bunch of bundles, it won't do that anymore. It will stay right where you want it to. So I'm going to make one more bundle and we'll add it to that frame. We'll start this time with light green. You can make all your bundles exactly the same, or you can make them all different. It is totally up to you. There is really no wrong way to do it. It just whatever works for you. You could do a bundle in all light green, one in all dark green, any way you want to do it. You could alternate. You could do one bundle in all dark green and one in all light green, or whatever. Pull the opposing ends, push it down, twist it together, pinch it, put it together like this. Now this time we're going to go with a piece of yellow ribbon here, this sheer ribbon. And over that, I'm going to put a piece of this leftover burlap, this thinner burlap ribbon that I used back at Christmas time. I had a few pieces left over. And this pretty gold ribbon, look at that. Grab a little pipe cleaner, lay it across the top. I'm still holding it, I have not let it go. Hold it over. You're going to fold it in half. Grab it. Twist it. And after you add your bundles to the wreath, you can kind of fluff these out a little bit. They get kind of squished together. You can kind of fluff them out a little bit. Alright, so let's get that wreath frame. And again, you're going to need a minimum of 7 bundles per section on this thing, 7 or 8. It depends on how much you have in your bundles. If you only have a few pieces of stuff per bundle, the bundles are going to be smaller and you'll need more. Okay. This is a great thing to do while you're watching a movie, or one of my favorite things to do is make these while I'm watching like a series on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, or listening to podcasts. This is one of my favorite things to do because I can kind of listen to whatever in the background while I work on this. It's very relaxing. I like to do it. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it, and I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to get more bundles together, and I'm going to make bundles for the little bamboo wreaths. These little things. I have 2 of these, and oh, let me show you the other thing I found at Dollar Tree. Yeah, while I was there, I bought one of these St. Patrick's Day tiaras. Isn't that cute? It has little rhinestones and stuff on it. You know what I could do? I could actually use this, like cut these parts off and use it like a little centerpiece in the middle of one of the small wreaths. That'd be cute. Yeah. So I'm going to keep making bundles for the 2 bamboo wreaths and the 1 big wreath. And then when I'm all done, I will show you how they turned out before we decorate them. I'll show them to you. Well, I did it. I got all 3 of them done. I have the 2 smaller ones. I'm going to show you those first. They turned out really nice. Now I know they're all basic. They all basically look the same. It's just different colors. But I still love to see how the different colors come together. Now in the smaller ones, when I did the smaller wreaths, I started running out of this light green mesh. So I actually mixed in some gold and white. I had some white mesh with some gold in it left over from Christmas. And I had a roll of this really pretty gold mesh left over from Thanksgiving when we did wreaths for Thanksgiving. So I used that in here. So I incorporated the white and the gold. And then I used the same types of ribbons in here. So this is the first one. And it's just on the back. I had to leave the pipe cleaners long. So I just kind of wound them together on the back. I just kind of twisted them together all the way around. I just kind of, wherever I could, I just twisted them together. So it leaves, you don't have little parts sticking out. So This is the first one here. And the second one. They're basically the same. And I did the back the same way. So I have two little wreaths here. And of course we're going to decorate these too. We haven't gotten to that part yet. But these are the two that I made with the bamboo wreaths. These little wreath forms here, just made of dried and formed bamboo. I found these at Dollar Tree. So we have those two. And then I have the big one. It's really big. Look at that. Wow. My favorite thing about this one is this dark green ribbon right here. This 1.5 inch ribbon. I used the entire roll on this wreath. I don't think I had any left over for the smaller ones. I think it all ended up on this one. And then of course we have some yellow ribbon in here, just sort of scattered throughout. Lots of light green, dark green, and gold in there. Very pretty. See, it looks a lot bigger now. If you look at the form on the back, you can see I used light green and dark green chenille stems on here so they just kind of blend in. They don't really stand out all that much. But yeah, it looks wonderful. I'm really happy with it. It's very sparkly. So the next step is going to be adding the flowers and the dragonflies and the little bird and the scatter, the glitter, shamrocks and coins. And I think I'm going to take the crown. I'm going to see about maybe taking this section apart, just removing the clips here where you put it on, and adding it to the middle of one of the little wreaths. I don't have two, I only have one, but I thought I could add it to one of the little wreaths. So I'm going to go do that, and then we will come back and see how everything turned out. Well, I've added all of the decorations to the wreaths. Here is the first little one, and what I decided to do with the crown, because of the way it's made, the kind of plastic it's made of, I was afraid if I tried to remove the side pieces that it would break, like, you know, where I didn't want it to. So what I did, I just went ahead and left it completely intact, and I've just rested it right up here. I did not glue it or anything. I just kind of nestled it down inside of the mesh up here, so that the person that I give it to, if they decide to, they can take the crown out and wear it on St. Patrick's Day if they want, or they can just leave it in there. We have cool little yellow flowers in here, and I took the table scatter and glued it in here. We have some little tiny pieces. It's like little baby shamrocks, yellow flowers everywhere. One of the big green flowers here, and one of the smaller ones here. These green ones I found at Dollar Tree today, but I forgot to show you earlier. These little ones here. So we just have all kinds of really pretty little flowers nestled everywhere in there. And the wreath, which is not affixed, so it can either stay there like a little piece of decoration, or it can be taken out. And the second one did the same thing, but without the little tiara thingy, because I only had one. But I added even more flowers, I think, to this one because I didn't have the tiara with this one. So we have the really pretty green flowers here in the yellow. Again, we have the table scatter, the little glitter shamrocks here. I didn't use any of the gold little coin pieces of table scatter. I saved all of those for the big wreath. But with this one, we have these beautiful bright yellow flowers. I love that. So yeah, this is the second small one here. Turned out really nice. And then I have the big one. Ooh, and I put the large shamrock decoration in the middle. It's just nestled in there like that. The little bird is just beneath it, peeking out right there. It's shy. It doesn't want us to see it. Flowers everywhere. plenty of sparkly table scatter. We have the coins nestled here and there in the wreath. There's one up there. Kind of hard to see it. It's sort of buried down in there. There's one. And it's just really pretty. I think it turned out really nice. I really think the green burlap, I wasn't so sure about it. I really kind of like the green burlap in here. It adds an interesting texture to it. It's yeah, I'm glad I added it. I wasn't so sure about it, but I like it. So there we have the big St. Patrick's Day wreath. And I will be selling this on eBay to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Just like I've done some other wreaths to raise money for different charities. I have a close family friend who had a daughter with cystic fibrosis, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation enabled them to go as a family to Disney World for vacation before she passed away, and it was a wonderful thing that they did for them. They took care of everything, and they had a wonderful time. And so I thought, just as a way to sort of say thank you to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, I would put this one on eBay and raise a few dollars to send to them. So 100% of the proceeds will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I will cover the shipping. So every penny that if you win, it's all going to go to them. So that is my St. Patrick's Day wreath. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you again really soon.